Hello there, and welcome. This is Laura West. I am the host of the Joyful Business TV show, Joyful Business TV. So I'm so glad that you are here and that you're joining us today. I'm very excited about our episode that we have coming up today. It's all about the 90-day plan, but there's a little twist to it. It's called the 90-day Be Do plan. And we're going to talk about how powerful it is to plan, how powerful it is to let go of that plan, and we're going to add in that twist about being and doing. All right, so I'm Laura West. I am the CEO and an intuitive business coach. I'm the CEO of the Center for Joyful Business, and for over 20 years, I have been working with coaches, consultants, conscious business owners, and change makers, purposeful entrepreneurs of all types. I've been helping them do their soul work and get their soul work, really get connected to their soul work, and get their soul work out in a bigger way so that your work can make a bigger difference, both in everyone else's lives and in your life. So it can come back to you by doing meaningful work that makes great impact and also makes great money, right? Without having to sell your soul. We're all about soul nourishing strategies here. And we do that by getting really aware, becoming personally aware of what is your personal environment like, both inside and outside, so that you can truly flourish, so that you can truly blossom and create this business that you love that is wildly successful. And here's what I want you to know is that it's not as hard as it might sound, that you're actually designed to flourish, that you have everything in you that you need, but we just need to get the things that are blocking your way out of the way, those limiting stories, beliefs, those thoughts, and those unhelpful patterns and habits that have you go to disempowering actions instead of those empowering actions. And over time, those things move out of the way, and then you start creating this business that you've always wanted to create, right? Because you're creating this environment so that you do get to flourish, again, inside and outside. All right, so today we're going to talk about creating a 90-day be-do plan. This is what I do with my clients. This is what I do. This is what I use with my clients. So first of all, I want to address the idea of planning. Planning, it might seem, for some of you, it might be like planning is like, oh gosh, that sounds hard. It sounds complicated. You don't want to be boxed in, that it's going to somehow, and that's going to be really hard and full of Excel spreadsheets is what I hear a lot of time. But you know what? I have done them for years. And the ones that I do with my clients, especially if you're a solopreneur, you don't need all those spreadsheets, right? You don't need to be a master Excel person, right? What if you could have a business plan that was fun and easy and actually you were excited to use, and it really was like this living, breathing dream incubator that would help guide you in your business? That's the kind of plan I'm talking about. For others of you, you might kind of like planning, right? But you might be worried that planning is going to it's going to stifle your creativity, right? When you've been trying really hard to be spontaneous and you want to have more fun, you want to be able to take advantage of opportunities as they come along. So here's the thing, we want to open up. These are all beliefs that can be empowering or they can be very limiting, right? They can keep you away from creating a plan. And then if you don't have a plan, it's like, do you really know where you're going? And then you're going to spend a whole lot of time trying things and not sure where you're going. A good example of this, have you ever gone on a trip and not made a reservation for a hotel or not really thought about the kinds of activity? I never go anywhere without a hotel, so that's not me, but maybe that's you. But maybe you haven't thought about like what kind of activities you want to do. And so you haven't done any sort of pre-research about what time does the park open or where should we eat dinner? What part of town do we want to eat dinner in? Then what can happen is that you spend the majority of your time circling around trying to get to the park, trying to get to dinner, trying to meet up with friends, trying to get to a hotel, and you end up spending a whole lot of time just trying to get places and trying to figure it out, where if you just did a little bit of pre-planning, you actually could be more spontaneous, because then you would know, yeah, we have plenty of time, we can do this before that amusement park opens, or that how late the dinner place stays open, so you can make these decisions. To me, you actually can be more spontaneous when you have a plan, which might seem a little contradictory. So it's a different perspective. The thing is, a lot of people use a plan as they think if they write it down, that it becomes this end all be all do or die plan, right? So you want to hold it somewhere between, like, yeah, I'm really committed to the plan and I'm going to use it as a guide. Because here's the thing, we certainly know things change. It's guaranteed things are going to change. If you created a plan for 2020 back in, a few years ago, your plan changed, right? Everybody started learning the word pivot and starting to learn how to be flexible and nimble, right? Those are really important qualities. That's not going to change going forward. Things are still moving fast, and you never know what's going to happen today or tomorrow or an hour from now. However, that doesn't mean that you don't want to create a plan, because otherwise it's like you're just kind of flapping in the breeze and you're really just doing whatever comes your way, which can be fun for a while. And it's fun if you want kind of a freelance kind of business. But if you really want to have a business that's going to make an impact, if you really want to step into being a leader with a message, and if you really want to grow a business that's going to make you great money while you're doing this meaningful work and really make a difference in people's lives, then you need to have a plan. Again, so that you could use it as a guide, so that you know where you're aiming at, and then you can make decisions of what you're going to say yes to, what you're going to say no to. That's what we're going to talk about. So, I have literally, just so you know, I have literally worked on thousands of business plans in my career lifetime. I used to be a VP of marketing in the shopping center business, and we had 50 shopping centers around the country. That's 50 business plans, 50 marketing plans every year. All of them had, 50 to 200 retailers, and many of them would submit business plans. So, I mean, I did that for decades, 17 years. So that's a lot of business plans. That's a lot of plans. So I know plans. And here's the thing, when you're a solopreneur, you don't need the 6-inch 3-ring binder doorstop plan. That's what we used to do back in the day. You don't need that kind of gigantic plan, but you do need some sort of guide, what I call a living plan that can help guide you as you're going along, so that when opportunities come your way, are they in alignment with where you want to go, or are they just a distraction, right? When you have a plan, that's when you can tell the squirrels from, okay, no, this is something that's really going to be good for me on my path because it's really aligned with where I want to go, rather than just a distraction. So I use a creative plan with all my clients, and it's what I use as well for my business. I call it the Joyful Business Plan. And this has been around for over a decade, probably almost 15 years now. And it has these creative worksheets in it. And one of them is a 90-day be-do plan. Okay, a little bit different twist. So it's really important to have a vision for where do you want your business to go in the long term, a few years down the road. And but you also want to be clear about, what do you want to do in the next 90 days? Because that's where we can really adjust. We can hold a focus. It's hard to hold focus on, 2 years. I mean, you want to revisit that every now and then, but you really want to have that 90-day plan so that you can look at opportunities and say yes, say no. You can look at opportunities and say, here's what I want to focus on, so that you can get really specific about what do you want to create, attract, and what do you want to grow. So here's how I'm going to share with you an example of my 90-day plan. Let me just go to the share here. All right. All right, let me just open this up. Okay, so here's an example. You can use a piece of paper, come up with this on your own, or you can go over to joyfulbusinessplan.com, or you'll find the Joyful Business Plan over at joyfulbusiness.com. Either way. But a 90-day be-do plan. As you can see at the top, you want to draw this quadrant. This is really important. It's really important to do this every quarter, and just take Plan some time to have a retreat with yourself. Plan some time at a coffee shop. Just get out of your away from your computer, away from noise and distractions, and just spend some time thinking about what's coming up in the next 3 months. All right. And then you want to start by thinking about who you are being. Who you are being. And then think about, what do you want to say no to in who you're being, and what do you want to say yes to in who you're being. And what I mean by that is things like, a lot of things my clients say are, I want to stop playing small. All right, that would be a being thing. I want to stop playing small. I want to say no to hiding my voice, hiding my light. I want to say no to being distracted, things like that. And so then over on the yes column, you want to say, I want to say yes to shining brightly. I want to say yes to no longer being a well-kept secret, being visible. I want to say yes to being willing to receive more clients, being willing to receive more opportunities. I want to say yes to being focused. I want to say yes to delightful discipline. I like delightful discipline, not discipline you have to crack the whip, but delightful discipline that allows you to focus and get things done. So these are in the being category, and they are just as important as the doing, because who you're being while you do things is where makes the difference in the magnetism, right? Makes the difference in your attraction factor. So you can show up and do things and you're not really that into it, or you can show up and do things from a more powerful, empowered place. And that's where the magnetism, the attraction factor really comes in. So then you also want to brainstorm on the doing side, what do you want to say no to? This is just as important as what you want to say yes to. What you want to say no to might be, don't sign up for another class when you're already in 5 classes, okay? Sometimes you have to draw the line on those of you who love to learn. I know I love to learn, and I have to set parameters and be really clear about that. Things you want to say no to is maybe scattering your energy on too many projects in your business. And so you flip that over and say, I want to say yes to these projects. I want to say yes to moving something really specific forward. And it's always better to have, in 90 days, maybe 3 to 5 projects you want to focus on. Not all of them can be big. Out of 3 to 5 projects, you want 1 or 2 that are big. And then the rest of them might be systems or hiring team or getting things, some of your marketing more consistent. But you really want to look at, this no column is just as important. Things you're going to say no to. Maybe saying no to smaller activities, or saying no, again, a lot of things that like distract you. Maybe saying no to doing things where you need to delegate. So instead of doing it yourself, you say no to that, and you're going to say yes to delegating it, handing it off to your team. Okay, that's a powerful exercise to look at each quarter, and it changes, right? Because your goals change, your doing changes, so who you're going to be is going to change. And we always need those reminders about what we want to stop and say no to, because when you say no more frequently, you can say yes more fully. And that's what we want you to do, is to be a big yes to who you're being and a big yes to those things you've committed to doing. All right, and then you take your 90-day plan and then you break it down into 30, 60, and 90 days. And this is where you write down the things you're going to do that you want to commit to over the next 3 months. This is particularly important. Lots of times people will say, oh, okay, I'm going to launch my podcast in 3 months. But you actually want to break it down into baby steps. So I have other worksheets where I help people with do like a project planner where they actually brainstorm all the different steps. So somewhere you want to brainstorm all the different steps. You can either use a Joyful Business Plan, or you can do this on your own. But brainstorm the baby steps and then put those micro actions in. If you're, for example, if you're going to launch a podcast, when are you going to launch it? You're going to launch it in 90 days? Then you want to start backtracking. Well, what needs to be done in 30 days? What needs to be done in 60 days? So if you're going to, you might need to do, record an intro, record an outro. You want to get some podcast podcasts in the can. You want to get some pre-recorded. You want to get the back end set up. So it might be that you pre-record some podcasts, and then in 60 days you're getting all the back end set up, or you have your team get that set up. So when you start breaking it down, it can really help alleviate the overwhelm, because you break it down to these baby steps and you realize not everything has to be done in 30 days. Can't possibly do everything in 30 days anyways, right? And deliver on your work, and also do marketing and admin and all those things. So you start out with, what are the things I'm going to do in 30 days? And then you realize how full that gets. And then you start moving things out. Okay, this needs to be in 60 days. This needs to be in 90 days. Oh, wait a minute, I'm not going to be able to launch until 4 months, or whatever your time, your window is. But once you break it down to those baby steps, that you get a really powerful plan. Then you've got some guidance. Then you can say, okay, here's what I'm going to commit to in the next 30 days. Then you can break that down into, what am I going to do this week? Out of that 30 days, those different micro actions, what am I going to do this week to really move this project forward? This can really help you focus. And then coming back and reminding yourself, here's what you're saying no to, so that you have the space and the time and that energy and attraction to be able to say yes to this bigger project, right? These things that really matter, that are really going to move your business forward. All right, I hope that you have enjoyed us talking about this 90-day be-do plan. I love creating tools, visual tools that help us do things that we think are, sometimes we think it's really simple, but once you write it down, you realize how incredibly powerful it is. And once you write it down, you actually align your energy with it, and you realize that it helps you, it helps you create this focused, energetic bubble, this vessel for being able to get your projects done. Whereas when you just hold them in your head, oh man, they're slippery there. They're really slippery, and any shiny new object can come in and take its place. But when you create the 30, 60, and 90-day plan, this is going to help you focus. It's going to help you feel more organized. It's going to help you feel more confident. And you're going to have this conviction that's going to come out that is part of your attraction factor. All right. So we're going to wrap up for today. And what I would like to do is to invite you to hop over to joyfulbusiness.com. You can find the Joyful Business Plan over there. If that's something that you're interested in, you want to know more about this creative business plan that can help you grow your business. There's also a wonderful toolkit that I'd love to give you that's called Activate Your Abundance. And it is you can get it right there on the homepage. You just scroll down to the bottom at joyfulbusiness.com. And this can help you really open up and get aligned with the abundance that is all around you already, and really help activate that abundance in your business. All right, I hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and I look forward to seeing you in the future on future episodes. Thank you for watching this episode of Joyful Business TV. I want to invite you to get more creative strategies and support for growing your business. You can start right now by activating your abundance mindset with a really powerful creative visualization that will help you get into the universal abundance current, one of my favorite things to do. And you'll also get a companion 7-day journal that will help you create a daily habit of co-creating with the universe. These are 2 powerful resources that you can get started right now to help grow your business and activate that abundant mindset. You just go over to activateabundancegift.com.